Wouldn't know it, but tucked back in there, there are some homes that sit on acres. And individuals believe this to be a cost savings for their household, that they literally would be raising them to supply food for their family. And right now they have, we've had other discussions on horses over there, goats. So I mean, there are pockets in the city that have enough land that they feel like they could actually spread out and have this as an option. Maybe not, 1,000 chicken farm size, but certainly they may think, 50 is okay.
Is there a limit to the number that one can have?
I haven't seen our ordinance
three.
yet,
five.
but it was supposed to be a very small number. Again, my concern is who polices that, and then what do we find, and then what man or woman power do we have to put behind it in order to adhere to the parameters that we set. So those are my side of the questions that I'm going to be asking.
I think that's a very legitimate concern. If you have an ordinance, then you ought to be able to enforce it.
Okay. We've got Kathy, Jennifer, Sean, and then Carolyn.
It was probably last year, I did call PD on my neighbor because they brought in, it had to have been 10 chickens or hens or roosters, I don't know what they were, and they were slaughtering them. And it is a wicked sound to begin with.
Oh my God.
I was concerned about disease, as far as when they, whatever you call it, take the feathers off and there's just an opportunity for disease there, and that was my concern. So I mean, I didn't know who to call, so I called LPD and said, is it legal too? And they go, well, no. And they did send somebody out, and I felt kind of bad because I think they were just having a huge barbecue. It's Asian people, and that was kind of just what they do. But I just had never seen it before.
Were they? And then my next question would be: were they using the entire chicken? And
That's
if not,
what I
how
don't
do you
know.
discard a chicken head?
I believe it was going in the Granger.
Okay.
That was the best of my understanding, because what I saw, I was the nosy neighbor who was looking out my window. Because they would take them into the garage, you would hear the wicked sound of them being killed. And then you would see them, preparing them and stuff like that, and then they would have big bags that they throw in the Granger.
Okay, so then
So there's
that
my
would
disease
sit.
problem.
That would sit until, because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
totally there with you. That would sit until pickup day.
Yeah, and this was Saturday.
Wow, so a week. It would sit a week. Okay, that's a great example of when I asked someone, as far as just disease at all, how would you control for this type of a case scenario? Excellent example.
Okay.
We then had Jennifer.
A couple questions. One is, do they have to be licensed, just like somebody with a cat or a dog? Is the chicken's got to be licensed? Is there going to be a limit?
Question.
And then going on to what Kathy just said, what about like a fisherman? A fisherman comes back with their catch, they're licensed to catch those fish. If they don't make a squealing sound when they're killed, but you kill the fish, you gut it, and then you have your remains. What do you do with those? So similar situations. I'm for chickens. I'm for fishing. I'm for people feeding their families any way they can. But yes, we do need to watch for infections and disease control. But if there's some type of animal control or somebody that is going to be involved, are they going to be the people that are going to be watching this, just like they do cats and dogs? Because there's dogs in our neighborhood that drive me nuts. And I'm a dog person. He has a dog. I live with him.
Excellent points.
His dog's a good dog, though.
Sean.
My comments are what Jennifer's were. I'm going to agree to disagree with some of you here. I think it's a good idea for those that are interested in it. And when it comes to progress and where we go, change is difficult, and I can understand that. I think along with anything that's new, now is the prime time when something is new to set the parameters for where you want them. So some of the stuff that goes along with that, like who's going to police it and who's going to do it, I kind of piggyback off what this gentleman said. How many people are really going to be interested in it? And if you make it an application fee-based thing to do it, you have all of the regulations come that you can set with those. It's a big thing that goes into doing all that, but certainly there are areas there and avenues that you have to regulate what is happening and what is not. Everything that we do not have now are a lot of the concerns that you have now. I mean, we have things about horses and livestock and big things already, and there are already regulations on whether or not you can do that or not. So we're not saying by allowing chickens that all of that's gonna open up just a whole, I mean, there are probably issues that are gonna come out above that, but that's where you go down the line and you, the best place to start is when you start anew, because then you can set those regulations. So I just wanted to comment on that.
Okay, we've got Carolyn and then Anita, and I'm gonna recap real quick so folks are still remembering. These are the things so far. We've said chickens no, chickens yes, and I'm gonna take a straw poll in just a second. Odor, upkeep, weather, people don't know the difference between hen and roosters. What about disease possibilities? Do they have to be licensed? Animal control, are they policing it? Or if not, who? Set parameters that are clear and concise. Am I recapping that so that I can take it back? Carolyn, Anita, and then Angie.